What is going on, everybody? CJC presents WandA Workouts and Anime, and we are back with another chapter review, a big fucking reveal, and I hope you guys enjoy the thumbnail. I thought it was quite ironic that this guy is named that. But before we get into some of my main points that I want to talk about, just a few, since this was a relatively short chapter, we are making some headway into the cover story, which I think is going to be really interesting. So I'm curious to see, is this who's perhaps leading this secret meeting? Because we see Batman who gave Luffy trouble in that one filler episode in the Wano anime. But I'm curious to see, is Kaido perhaps still alive? I'm definitely curious to see where this goes from here. But let's take a look at some of these main points that I do want to discuss. First being getting some good insight into some lore about the giants. Now, honestly speaking, it looks as if Kaido probably and Yamato probably have some sort of giant lineage. I think it definitely makes sense, right? Considering if Lin is from Elbaf, and Kaido is literally the same size as her, then, I think just going off of that information alone, I mean, there's probably some resemblance, right? Like, why is Kaido that fucking tall if he doesn't have some sort of giant history? Now, during the Wano arc, we did get some insight from him, talking to Yamato, that they have Oni blood, but it looks as if it comes from the ancient giant warrior blood, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm quoting Roto here correctly. But they do come from that. We get to look at King Harold, and his design is very close to Kaido. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they have some sort of lineage. I mean, even looking at King Harold's shirt with the scales, it kind of looks like a hybrid Kaido. So I'm definitely curious to see if there's some sort of lineage factor when it comes to that. But I mean, it's badass that this guy ripped off his own fucking horns, and even Zoro's like, dude, what conviction. Now this could be a plethora of things, right? If he was trying to portray some sort of peace. I saw one theory that was saying that this guy could have been trying to be with a celestial dragon, and try to make things try to be like one. But I definitely think if he is trying to connect with the outside world more, to rip off the horns so this way he can be less intimidating, although this portrait of him makes him look very fucking intimidating with the scars, so I don't know if it does that good of a job. Next point I do want to discuss is Hadruden. I think Hadruden's really cool. Roto gave us some really good insight into Hadruden, because Hadruden has a similar path to Luffy, and that is becoming the king of giants. And I love how Roto is following Hadruden, kind of how Zoro follows Luffy, and of course Roto goes, I want to make his dream a reality. And I love this comment from Zoro when he goes, quote, that kind of boring motivation is nothing new to me, end quote. And of course, Nami is just laughing at that fact. But I would like to see something from Hadruden. Something in this arc, I'm not sure what that might entail, considering he is part of the Straw Hat Fleet. Do we get something from him later down the line? Did he have some sort of hockey bloom from Dressrosa to now? Because honestly, Dressrosa, his performance was pretty fucking ass. Like, let's just be honest here. So, I think combat-wise, for the most part, most of the Giants have been kind of overrated, if I'm just being honest here, outside of Dory and Brogy. Outside of those two, I feel like everyone else has been quite overrated. So, let's... And bar none, Loki, right? Loki has been... Even though we haven't seen any combat feats, it looks as if he's going to be one of the stronger giants that we've seen. So we'll kind of see if there is anything for Hadruden, considering he does have some sort of similar path to Luffy. I would really like to see something. What that would be, I have no idea. I mean, do they have something similar to like Thor's hammer there? Because the storyline with Hadruden, Loki, and King Harold very similar to just Thor's story, right? So I don't know if there's like a thunder fruit, but I'm pretty sure that's Enels. So it's kind of hard to see what there is for Hydrudin, if there is something. But I think with this setup that we got from him and a little bit more insight of Hydrudin, I really would like to see something from him, even if it's, you know, he becomes king of Elbaf in this arc, right? Kind of similar to, you know, a storyline that we got from Momonosuke, where, you know, Odin's thing was, you know, we have to open the borders, right? And then of course Momonosuke ultimately decides to keep them closed until the right time. So I'm curious to see what Hydrudin's path, if he has one at all, during the Elbaf arc. Next point I do want to make is regarding Gunko. I think she, assuming it's a she, has an interesting ability, and I do want to make note of the eyes that they both share, Gunko and the newly revealed Shanks' evil twin. But I do love the conviction Loki shares, where ultimately he's like, alright, I stop, alright, stop, like, I get it. And then just makes a fucking face. Like, I think that's hilarious. And then just gets kicked again. And then, of course, we ultimately get the reveal of Shamrock. This is the last point I do want to talk about. But I do want to make note of the eyes. So, in this final panel, I guess, right? The double spread. Shamrock, his left eye? No, his right eye, excuse me. His right eye and Gunko's left eye are drawn very similar. So I'm curious to see if this ability perhaps comes from Emu, if it's how they contact Mary Joa, or if maybe that's how they do their summoning circle. I'm genuinely not too sure, but I do want to make note of the eyes, and I'm sure that might be something unique to the God's Knights. So we get the reveal. We get the reveal that Shamrock, we do have an evil Shanks, and I love this design, right? I love the, you know, you can only do so much to differentiate from Shanks. Although I will say I will be very disappointed if people genuinely think this is Shanks. So we'll kind of we'll kind of see how that plays out later on in the Elbaf arc. I love the hair. I genuinely love the outfit that this guy has on right now. It's fantastic. So we'll kind of see where it goes from there. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I will see you there. And of course in the next video. Peace.